Hey guys, it's Eric from Mad A Productions, and today we're going to be taking a look at one of my all-time favorite shooters and one of my all-time favorite old-school arcade games. But we're going to be taking a look at a really rad home conversion of it. It's dangerous, it's devious, it's Xevious for the Atari 7800.
And my copy here is actually factory sealed, so I'm going to be opening up a brand new copy of this game to review it. Now, the game's not in mint condition by any stretch of the imagination. The box has got some crushing, but it is still sealed. So I'm going to open it, we're going to take a look at the contents and what came in a sealed Atari 7800 game back in the day, and then also review the game itself. Now, the first thing that was kind of interesting is that I picked this up at the Phoenix Game On Expo while I was on my mad hunt for Atari 7800 games. And I found this copy, and this was the first interesting thing I saw, was that the story for the game is on the back. I never knew the storyline to Xevious, so this is interesting. Apparently, some aliens show up saying that we're the aliens and this is their planet and they want us to get the hell out, and you gotta tell them no. So that's the gist of Xevious, so that's good to know, never knew that. 7800 boxes, it seems like I find a lot of brand new sealed copies of games, but they're always crushed like this. I don't know why there's so many copies of Atari 7800 games factory sealed, but crushed like this. I do see, and I have some other copies of games like this that I will review in the future. For use with the 7800 controllers. It should say for use with the Allen 9000, because that's what we're going to be playing with. But anyways, let's open this up. I can hear the sound of a million retro gamers screaming as I take the seal off this thing. Oh jeez. Oh, this plastic is old. There we go. Alright. Yeah, see, not mint condition at all. Lots of creases and crushing, but now the seal's off, we can free the game. So here we have the cartridge, and holy crap, does that look nice. It smells good too. It smells like new plastic, but the label is just in fantastic condition, of course, because it's brand new. And let's see, we've got some paperwork in here. Let's see what we got in here. We've got the now this looks like it's all crushed up as well. I guess from being in the box, all crushed up. Pretty short manual. No pictures or anything except for on the front. And I think that's all that's in there, so that's all you get. Now that makes sense. Atari was in a little bit of financial trouble when the 7800 came out. That's why the 7800 game labels are black and white, most of them, instead of color, was to save money. So it also makes sense to save money. They would just give you kind of a cheap little pamphlet manual and nothing else. So let's take a look at Xevious, but before we take a look at the Xevious on the Atari 7800, I actually have Xevious on my multicade in the Garage Arcade, so we'll take a look at that first and see what the arcade version of Xevious looks like, and then we can compare it to the Atari 7800 version.
So here's the arcade game Xevious, released in 1982. And like I said earlier, I'm playing this on my Galaga multicade. As you can see, Xevious is a vertical scrolling shooter, and you've got two buttons, a fire button, and you've got another button that drops bombs, and it drops those where that crosshair is on the ground. So you've got ground targets to bomb, and air targets to shoot, and lots of bullets to avoid. This has always been one of my favorite arcade games. I think the first time I encountered this was actually at a movie theater that I used to go to with my dad. They had this and a Rastan cabinet next to each other, and I used to play both of them quite a bit. Now, one of the great things about Xevious is as the game progresses, the enemies change, so you're not constantly shooting at the same enemies. Also, the terrain changes as well. Even the targets that you bomb change.
Damn it!
Which, in 1982, was pretty revolutionary. I still, to this day, do not know how to pronounce the name of this ship. Salvalu? I don't know how to pronounce that. That is a weird name for a ship. Definitely not as cool as a name like, you know, Vic Viper from the Gradius series. That's a much cooler name. I think one of the things that makes Xevious so fun is it is so satisfying bombing the ground targets. Let's take a look at the Atari 7800 conversion now.
Alright, so let's take a look at Xevious on the Atari 7800. And since we're playing on the Atari 7800 Pro system, and I am a pro Atari player, I will be playing with the Allen 9000 Pro custom joystick for the Atari 7800. This thing is awesome. If you haven't seen my review of it yet, go check out that video. Anyways, let's play some Xevious.
Love that Atari Rainbow logo. Now here you can see you can pick from one of 3 difficulties: Novice, Intermediate, Advanced, and Expert. I like to play on Intermediate. Expert is insane. I can't get very far on Expert. Now, Xevious is one of my favorite arcade games, but it's also one of my favorite Atari 7800 games. This is a really good port. The graphics aren't identical, but they're pretty close. Close enough that you can tell what you're playing. There's no question that you're playing Xevious. The sound is even spot on, although the music is nothing to write home about. I actually don't like the music. It starts to grate after a little bit. That's maybe one of the few things I can complain about Xevious. But the sound effects are spot on, and it is still just as satisfying to bomb ground targets in this game as it is in the arcade game. The only other complaint I would have with this on the Atari 7800 is playing this with the stock Atari 7800 controller. Your hand will cramp up after a while between hitting the fire button and the bomb button, but if you can play with some other controller, like if you have the Atari 7800 control pad, that Xevious plays amazing with that, or like I'm playing with the Allen 9000 Pro, which I think I actually prefer this to the arcade game, playing it with the Allen 9000 Pro. One of the other few complaints that I have with Xevious is the name of the ship. The Solvaloo? That is a bizarre name. Not cool. I mean, you've got ships like the Vic Viper and Gradius, you've got the R9 fighter from R-Type, or the Raiden Supersonic Attack Fighter from Raiden, and then you've got the Solvaloo. Even the joystick I'm playing with has a cooler name than the ship in this game. But other than the name of this ship and the music, this game is freaking sweet. Now, when I went to shoot the footage for this episode, I only intended to play the game for, half an hour, 45 minutes, to capture some gameplay and everything. I ended up playing for a couple of hours, I think. Just trying to beat my high score, trying to top my next high score. If you have an Atari 7800, you need to get Xevious. This is, in my opinion, one of the best ports of Xevious, and also one of the best games on the Atari 7800 in general. Xevious is just an amazing shooter. It's, there's no power-ups or anything like that. You've got a bomb button and a fire button and a whole myriad of enemies to destroy, and you're, doing a score attack basically, because the game does loop. There's no end. So it really is just a pure fun shooter. Not complicated at all, but complicated enough to make it interesting. For a shooter from 1982, there's a lot of depth here. Like I said earlier, if you're collecting for the Atari 7800, you need to have Xevious. This is an amazing game. If you don't have it, go get it now. Even if you have to resort to eBay, it's really cheap even on eBay. Cart-only copies can be had for a few dollars, and complete in-box brand new copies are going for under $15 on eBay, so go get it now. Anyways, that's been my review of Xevious on the Atari 7800. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to keep playing.
Damn it.
Hey, if you like this review, don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons. Also, you can click one of those 3 thumbnails there to check out one of my other retro gaming videos. Also, don't forget to check out my links to the social media crap there, and as always, thanks for watching.